Never really thought we'd be breaking up like this, but it's over now. It's over now. Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah. Hey, we'll talk about this song later. Y'all understand it. I always like to give you some music. It's always a story behind the music. Don't think I'm just playing stuff. There's a story behind it. No, I ain't breaking up with my wife. It's a story behind it. But hey, listen, I'm coming with y'all, give you a little pregame show today. We start the Western Conference Finals. And we got tonight's game is Denver and the Lakers. We'll talk about it a little more later on, but I thought I'd give y'all something. You can watch Stephen A. Smith and the Countdown Crew tonight, or you can sit with me and chill. It's up to you. No beers today. It's early. I want to hit the gym, so we'll get the beers after. We're going to definitely have them for game time. Hey, so we're going to go through the finals, but the first thing on the slate today is this shit with Ja. Very disappointed. It's kind of, it's sad. His dad always around. He always on TV at the games and all this shit. But when the shit really matters in Ja's life, I ain't seen a statement from him. Ain't nobody putting the mic in his face now. Ja got to figure this out. I know he's young as a kid. He does stupid things. All right, been there, done it. Thank God wasn't no IG back when I was 24, 25. But it is now. So as I always told my kids, everything you do, somebody's watching. There's a camera, it's recorded. Be smart. Be smart out here in these streets. And for Ja, for this to come so soon after what he just went through, he got a little slap on the wrist, I thought, the first time. And he didn't break any laws, right? So this is not, unfortunately, I don't care what your opinion is about guns. You can conceal and carry. Every state's different. You got laws. You can walk around with your gun, do whatever. I'm a firm believer if you got one, you're going to end up shooting it. But that's me. So this is not a legal matter. This is an NBA Memphis Grizzlies matter. This is a visual. This is perception. This is, as the NBA rules call it, conduct detrimental to the league. And I think it's probably the same language in the Memphis Grizzlies personnel conduct policy, right? So it's a subjective viewpoint, and then the punishment for a situation like this is subjective, right? So it really comes down, in this case, it's going to come down to Adam Silver on what he wants to do. And the same thing, the Grizzlies have already jumped out on it like they did before, but you suspended them from all season activities. That means nothing. What is Adam Silver going to do? What is Nike going to do? I think Nike already took a pause. This man just got a new shoe out. You got to think about these things. Like, unfortunately, when you grow up and you become a stellar superstar or star, I'm not going to use superstar, I'm going to say a star athlete, the rules of your personal life change. You don't have one anymore. You are managed and viewed very highly by your sponsors and whatever team it is that you're playing for, right? And you should also think about this. The way they view you, you should think about this as how your family, your children, you parade your daughter around all the time. Your daughter don't need to see you on social media branding a gun. Like, no, that's not what you should be portraying for your daughter. So the big issue for me is Ja, at some point, he has to start making better decisions. And I understand that he's young, but unfortunately in this nature of business, what he's doing, you got to grow up very fucking fast. You don't have time to be 21-year-olds making multiple mistakes because guess what? You and your $100 million will be gone out the league. If you don't believe me, ask Javaris Critton, Gilbert Arenas, Michael Beasley. There's a long list of guys that made multiple mistakes and ended up out the league. And mistakes that probably could have been avoided. So what's going to happen to Ja? I heard a lot of different views this morning from Stephen A. saying, 25 games. Ryan Clark said, I don't even want to get into the number of games. That's not my call. JJ Redick, he even said maybe 16. Me personally, half a season. Because I got to get it in your head. It's just like a kid. Like sometimes some kids require a different way of being disciplined than the next kid. So Ja is definitely one of those I don't believe it's hot type of kid, so he gonna touch that fucking plate, that stove to see if it's hot. Guess what, Ja? It's hot. I told you it was hot. Believe me, it's hot. Ja's gonna have to be disciplined a different kind of way. Give his ass half a season. Let Memphis feel it. Let Ja feel it. Maybe he'll spend a little more time than 2 days doing whatever counseling was he did the last time. And he'll figure out what's important. Reassess your friendships. These dudes you with are not your friends. So remember that. These guys are not your friends, John. I'm telling you that. Because if they were, they would try to do better by you. But that's not on you. It won't only be you. It's a bunch of other individuals in the league and other sports, NFL, NBA, whatever, that go through this. So enough with Ja. What's going to happen is going to happen. It's probably going to come down very quickly. So listen up in the next week, couple weeks. Another thing we got going tonight is the draft lottery. And the big man on the board is Victor, right? We all know this. So where is he going? I think Charlotte has the most odds. I forgot the other teams, but I hope the Spurs get it because he needs to be somewhere where he's going to, some of these franchises, just to be a parent, let's be real, they are not good franchises. He won't flourish. He won't grow. He'll be frustrated. He'll be looking to leave. Send him down there with Pop. Because with Pop, and this kind of goes back to Ja. My cousin mentioned this he asked me the other day, what a group of us, does the NBA have mentoring programs? I've always asked this question, and I believe that they don't. It might be a team-by-team thing. They do something in the beginning of the season as their rookies, but there's no, one-to-one relationships that are assigned that people check in with you on a regular basis, on your well-being, etc. Sort of like if you're in corporate, you have a mentor, a mentee, a coach, etc. I don't think they do anything like that in the NBA. But I can guarantee you this. If Victor goes to the Spurs, you best believe that David Robinson's going to be around him on a regular basis. Tim Duncan's going to be around him on a regular basis. Tony Parker may fly back. Manu may come back. There are going to be enough people around here to ensure that kid's success. But they are a different type of team, very high class. So I'd rather see him go there. Hopefully the ball's bounced his way. I know people talked about him coming to Bulls, but nope. Don't even. Let's just not ruin the kid. Don't bring him here. We got enough problems as it is. And then next on the list would be Brandon Miller and Scoot. So those guys, they're gonna do well wherever they end up. So that's the draft now. Next topic, coaching changes. So effectively this morning, I was gonna bring this up to talk about what's gonna happen with Doc, but shit, it happened. But as of 10 this morning, Doc got fired. I think we knew Doc was gonna get fired. I don't even think that was I don't think it was a big question there. I think we knew that was going to happen. 3 years in, they actually improved every year. But I want to say this was a player firing. If you know anything about the Sixers, what's the guy's name? He's from Houston. He's a part of the management team for the Sixers now, and he loves James Harden. James Harden been kind of bad-mouthing Doc since they lost. But James, you need to show up. You play like shit. Embiid, you running your mouth too. You play like shit. Jason Tatum gave you 50. So take your MVP trophy, put it in the back of your closet because you didn't play like one. MVPs don't go out in Game 7 like that. They play a little bit better. At least they play. they're not leaving the gym with 17 points. All right, so Doc is gone, Monty's gone. So this gave me a look. I went and pulled up the list of the last 5 Coach of the Years. Monty was 22, Tibbs was 21, Nick Nurse was 20, I think, and then Mike B was 18, 19. 3 of those 4 dudes have been fired. It's a short list for these coaches in the NBA, and I really don't know if that's fair because it's so hard to win that ship. And it's not just on the coach. I know Budenholzer made some, he kept some timeouts in his pocket. Hell, Steve Kerr did it too, and I guarantee you he ain't gonna get fired. Nick Nurse, Kawhi came there and saved your job 2 years ago, and you won the championship. Don't fire him now. If you don't get rid of him when Kawhi left, you should have got rid of him then. Like, there's no repeating what happened when Kawhi was there. Monty, that's not Monty's fault. You got this new GM. He want to come in. He want to put his foot imprint on the team. You traded half the damn team to New Jersey to get KD, and look where that got you. You was playing 2-on-5 every trip. Don't blame Monty for that. But you know what? Monty, to hell with him. Go do something different. And there's a lot of good jobs out there. I don't know if I'd like to see Monty in Milwaukee. He's a player's coach. He's going to do well wherever he goes. Don't take the Philadelphia job. Because if you want to deal with James Harden, maybe wait and see if James Harden goes back to Houston. But I don't know if Udoka wants to deal with him in Houston either. With those young guys down there, I would not bring James Harden down there to Houston with this young team, and you're trying to develop and show these guys and teach basketball. He's not the guy you want around your team as a leader. I heard Mark Jackson's name pop up for the Milwaukee job, so that was kind of interesting. I don't know if he's been away too long, but I'd like to see Mark get a coaching job. J.J. Redick's name popped up for Toronto, and to me, that's a slap in the face to a lot of assistant coaches on these benches that have put in the work, put in the time for you to bring this guy out the booth and give him a head coaching job. I'm tired of seeing that shit. And he from Duke too, so I don't know if he'd be well received by the team either. So that's another story. But anyway, so that's that. That's what's going around the association. So now we are down to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. The Heat knocked off the Knicks. I don't think that was any surprise in that series. We said 4-2. We called it. I know Julius Randle got a lot of bad press during this series. He was hurt. And again, this goes to we use that word superstar very loosely. There was a point in time I couldn't stand Julius Randle when he was with the Lakers. Out of control, always played fast. Just didn't have, his basketball IQ was just terrible. But you look at his growth over the last 3 to 4 years, and he's improved. He's an all-NBA player. He's improved. He just didn't play well. He said a few dumb things, in post-conferences, but he just didn't have a good playoff series. Again, that's the difference between being a star and being a superstar. Superstars play every night. Some kind of way they're going to have their footprint, their impact on the game. We'll talk about this with Jason Tatum a little later. Jalen Brunson, great job in his first playoff setting. He performed well night in and night out. He had a couple of rough games, but you can see he belongs. And I think the Knicks will be back. They don't need to go through. I know people want to get rid of R.J. Barrett. They want to get rid of Randle. Now, leave this team alone, man. Give them another. This is their first year together. They got to the playoffs. Give them some time. They're young. Tibbs will get them there. Maybe you might need a couple of pieces to bring it on. But they have the pieces, right? Picking up Josh Hart, that was a great move. They got a big, just leave the team alone. Don't do anything drastic. You just tweak some things here and there throughout, for next year. Now the Heat move on to play the Celtics. It's going to be a great series. The Sixers, people are upset. The Sixers were not better than Celtics. Yeah, you got a dude on MVP on paper because everybody felt sorry because he never had one. But he not the MVP of this league. We all know that Jokic is, and he should have been a three-time MVP. If you're not giving it to Jokic, give it to Giannis. Embiid was my third vote. Both Giannis and Joker, number one in their conference, respectively. Yep, Giannis got knocked out early. The Celtics were just better. I mean, again, their depth, six man, two all NBA players, all defensive player. I don't know where Smart ended. I know he was first team all defense this year. Um, Six man of the year. Like the team is solid throughout. Malcolm Brogdon would start on any team in the NBA. They just choose to put Derek White in there because of chemistry and how it flows, and you bringing out this Malcolm off the bench, and he leads the first and second unit. Like their depth and completeness was the difference in that series. They have two guys that can give you a punch every game, and then these other guys are always consistent. It's not a matter of which one of those next five guys are going to step up. All of these guys play every game. Robert Williams is back, huge, putting him in the starting lineup. Al Horford played great, but Al ain't no spring chicken. But he played great. Robert Williams gives you a different level of athleticism, protecting the rim, running the floor, just a different pace with Robert Williams in the game. Al still came in, hit big threes. He frustrated Embiid defensively. He played well. This is what the Celtics have a lot of depth. Philly, this might be it. You fired Doc, so now what are you going to do? Trust the process again? No, we're done with that. Embiid got on Maxey talking about him and Harden can't do it alone. Well, y'all didn't do it in Game 7. Maxey and Tobias played very well in Game 7. And they have to accept their role. Like, they're 15, 17-point scorers. That's what they're going to be. If Embiid and Harden are getting 30 a night, that's all that's left point-wise, right? And you get a little production out of your bench. Philadelphia just has to, I think they have to really entertain all options on how to rebuild this team. If you let James Harden go, what's your next move? Like, there's some assets out there. You go get your Fred VanVleet. I'm not going to say Chris Paul because I think that ship is sailed too. We got to talk about Dwight Howard. If you ever haven't seen Dwight Howard's recent post, he trying to get everybody to China. He said CP3. He said Clay, Ayton. Who else did he name? Randall. Anybody that had a bad game in the playoffs, he said, y'all just need to come on to Taiwan, man, and run with me. Thought that was kind of funny. But find him on IG is hilarious. But the Sixers may have to just reassess everything. And is Embiid untradeable? I don't know. If I could get something for him and start rebuilding, I'd trade him. If I can give me 3 or 4 draft picks or a couple of good players, maybe send him to Phoenix. Let him go over there and build a big monster. Maybe Phoenix call him Embiid. Give them Ayton. Let Ayton get a fresh start because Ayton is gone. I think he's played his last game in Ayton. So get rid of Ayton. Maybe at this point you say, hey, Embiid, I'll give you Ayton and CP3. All right, there's our trade. CP3 can mentor the young guys and come off the bench. His time is done. So maybe you think about that. Maybe you start that way and just start over. Find you something. Get Ayton where he can be fresh again. Start over. He's not a bad player. I think they never recovered from the contract talks last year. Bringing KD in, I think that may have hurt his ego too. And I don't think he got along with money just from watching huddles and different things. So that's it. The Celtics go on. Heat Celtics. As much as Jimmy has been playing well, I think the Celtics are just too strong. You know, they can be just as scrappy as the Heat. Let me put it that way. The Celtics play defense. They can run. They can score. But I think at the end of the day, we talk about back to the superstars. Jason Tatum has shown he's a superstar. He had a rough game 6. Shot poorly the first 3 quarters. Came back and dropped 16 in the fourth to get the win. Game 7, he gives you 50 and he was untouchable. Like there was nothing. He reminded me of that guy right there. That was a Kobe-like performance where he came through it when Boston needed it. And when you get to these points in the playoffs, superstars win. Like my superstar has to be better than yours, and I think in this case he's better than Jimmy Butler right now. Butler's a superstar. He gonna put the team on his back. I don't think Miami just has enough to beat the Celtics, but they will win a couple of games out of this just because they're Miami. They'll win a few games. It'll be 4-2. Celtics will be back in the NBA Finals. Now over to the West. Oh, I'm not even gonna spend a whole lot of time on Denver and the Suns. We talked about it. The Suns were not good. Two players, Devin Booker played outstanding in this series. KD played well, not outstanding. Book was on something different. I think he might have shot close to 60% for the series, averaging close to 40. But the Joker, roll out a couple of numbers for you. He had 4 triple-doubles in that series, including one 30-17-17 game. One of the games where he didn't have a double-double, a triple-double, he dropped 50. Pure dominance. The more I watch the Joker play, the more of appreciation I have for his game. I watched him throw a pass in the high post one game, and the precision, the preciseness of how he hit the guy going back door, where he put it perfectly, where all the guy did was just grab it and flip it up. He didn't have to move. He caught him in stride. He caught the ball, reversed it for a layup. Beautiful pass. And he does this frequently. And I think in order to appreciate the Joker, you got to know basketball. It's not all about the athleticism. He's proven that and shot that out the door. He's just uncanny in his passing, rebounding. He positions himself. He keeps his hands up. If you look at a lot of his rebounds, some of them are one-handed. He just gets the ball, taps it, and lets it go because he has a position. So he's not even worried about you getting near the ball. And he's strong. He can shoot, pass, dribble, and it's all smooth. Like as slow as he is, as goofy as he is, he has a certain level of smoothness to his game that you really have to appreciate. So he's my MVP. That's what it is. He played like it. He put Denver where they need to be. Now Denver has a test. They play the Lakers. So going back to my intro song, I caught myself rooting for the Warriors in this series. And I think this has been going on for about 3 years now with me and the Lakers. It's sort of like a girlfriend. I'm sorry, y'all, man. I got this gnat that's been running around here gonna drive me crazy. You know, you had a girlfriend, y'all had a good run, y'all been kicking it for a while. But deep down inside, you know what? It's time to move on. We've had a great 30-something year run. I've seen it all. But I think these last 5 years, actually, it started with the LeBron trade. That's kind of when my heart started leaving the relationship. So I don't know where I am with them, man. Good luck to them. Some of these guys right here always going to be my greatest. The love will never leave for these dudes. But what they doing now, and I like Darvin Ham, but just the overall, man, I don't have it in me anymore, man. I think it's over. So this series with Denver, the Lakers will win a couple of games, and I think a lot of people want to see LeBron ride off into the sunset. And I'm going to stand by what I said. I just don't believe in this team. It's so how do I explain this? Like, I know what I'm going to get from LeBron. But after that, and maybe that's a good thing, there's no consistency. And they've been winning off of these surprise performances, I'll put it that way. Lonnie Walker, 15 points. He ain't played in 2 months. Austin Reeves is consistent. I actually do like Austin Reeves. He's been pretty consistent. D'Lo he's up and down. he had a good game. Then he disappears. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I really don't have a lot to say about them. They don't match up well. AD's really gonna have to put in some work, and they have a lot of size. And defensively for Denver, they have a lot of size to throw at AD. Like they have three people they can throw at AD. Porter 6'11", so between Porter, Gordon probably bigger and stronger, and Joker, they have that front line is going to give AD some fits. But if AD plays his game, he can get his points, but he just has to come to play, right? He just has to show up and play. I think Denver has one of the best 1-2 punches in the game with Murray and the Joker. The way they play their pick and roll, and it's a little different because Murray does a lot of the rolling and the Joker will pop out, and he'll make the play. The pass will run through him. So they have multiple ways where they can kill you. Porter's been shooting well. The bench is solid. Bruce Brown, I called him Bowen a couple of weeks ago. Bruce Brown defensively solid. It'll be a good series. I like Denver coming out of this. I think we're going to have a Denver Celtics finals. And if I had to pick right now, I'll say the Celtics are kind of a little more seasoned for this now than Denver. But Denver could take it all. One last one about that Lakers Warriors. I didn't talk about that series a whole lot. I don't necessarily say the Lakers won, and a lot of y'all might be shaking your heads. The Warriors, that last game, they shot. I gotta find my facts here. No, I know what I pulled out. Clay was 14 to 56 in that series. And he had been playing well up to that point. If you look at Clay's season numbers, I know people talked about Clay was bad. Clay had a normal Clay-type season. And he had some spurts where he showed up as Clay. So I don't know if Clay is done. I think the Warriors, they got off to a rough start. Draymond, there was a challenge. This was probably one of the more challenging seasons that franchise has ever had to face. Starting with the fight, a couple of injuries, not being able to win on the road. Then it looked like it was all coming together when they beat Sacramento. You get Steph with the 50 ball. You get Clay going crazy one night for 40. Draymond scoring 20. Like a lot of things, you almost believe that, because we believed in Warriors for so long, that they were going to turn it around. But in this case, like every good franchise, it came to a halt. They hit a wall and they couldn't recover, and the Lakers benefited and they won. So are the Warriors over? I don't think so. I think they bring everybody back. The one person I think they have to see what they do with is Jordan Poole. And I've been saying about Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, he's like that annoying little brother. And I think he showed a lot of it this year. That's probably why he got punched in the mouth. But he showed it during the playoffs. He was non-existent in the playoffs. You want to talk about something? He was just non-existent next to Clay. So now you're talking about your two guards. You're getting absolutely nothing. Jordan Poole gave him nothing. His demeanor, his attitude didn't look good throughout the series with the Lakers. So maybe it's time. He's trade bait. Like, he's tradable. You can get something for him. And maybe you get something and that can enhance your bench a little more. I think the bench is young. They're developing. I'd like to see another veteran on there. Kind of somebody in that Sean Livingston mold that they had when they were winning. But we'll see. But I don't think the Warriors are over. I think they're going to keep these three guys together. They maybe have 1 to 2 more years left to try it. And you made it one, literally you're one game out of Western Conference Finals. As bad as your season was, they didn't make it. So, listen, we got a game tonight. Let's get ready. So what about tonight? Denver win the first one. Denver's at home. Home court advantage is going to prevail. I think Joker is consistent. Joker will kind of dominate this game, and this will be a test for Darvin Ham to figure out, how do I. He's going to have to make some adjustments. And like he said, there's not a whole lot you can do with Joker. And like he said, you try to kidnap him when he comes out the house. But can you slow down Murray? Maybe get Porter off of his game. You might have to focus on the others and not the Joker. For the Lakers tonight, in order for them to win, I think they have to be more like Kevin Durant and Booker. You need big games. Almost like 25 plus from AD and LeBron wins. It would get them there. And then if you can get another 20, like again, with them, it's always somebody else. Somebody can give you 20 somewhere else. So if you get that other good game from somebody, that's what it's going to take. And that's how they win. So that's what it's going to take for the Lakers to pull out tonight. So, hey, we'll check back in. We'll get some games under our belt. We'll come back and kind of see where we are a couple of games into these series. But, hey, enjoy tonight, and we'll talk soon.